Welcome back, everyone, to the Visegrad 4. For those of you who don't know, the V4 is actually a bit of a union between Poland, Slovakia, Czech Republic, and here in Hungary, in Budapest. It extends far beyond esports, and that's what we're celebrating as much as the forward thinking of esports in this region. And that was some forward thinking gameplay. What did you guys make of that game? Mirage, I thought it was a little bit interesting that perhaps Budapest 5 actually came out on top despite having a bit of a slow start early on.
Yeah, it seemed like Salamander, they went in hard, they won the pistol and they seemed to be in the driving seat initially, but as soon as it got into the nitty-gritty, as soon as it got into closing out the rounds, I feel they lacked a lot. It was a very aggressive game. There's a lot of pace being put into it. You could see, like, normally when we're watching show matches, it's more like you can see two teams who are maybe not, trying the hardest, but I felt both these teams were trying the absolute hardest, right? They're trying to outplay each other. That's the grudge match, right? We talked about it. These are two teams that are here to showcase themselves in front of the audience, in front of a stage, and they're doing it well. Obviously, one team a little bit better than the other.
I feel like even if there wasn't, don't get me wrong, the allure of being on the stage, the prestige, the fact that they get to do it in front of their home country, that's all true, and that's all well and good. But I feel like if you were to put these two in a hotel room somewhere or away from public eye, they would still be playing just this hard. I feel like there is a rivalry between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, going into this with this set that we are not going to see any disciplined Counter-Strike, right? It's that grudge match. It did come down to those individual plays, like we pointed out. Fluff, for example, on the A side. Color with the up plays. We even saw on the other end, we saw Bodito, for example, stepping up and some shots from Torji. In the end, look, we saw Budapest 5 get off to a good start. I think it was after that ninja defuse from Crease, for example, where they started to give Salamander less and less respect. And they did get punished for that a little bit. That's when Salamander started building the rounds back. But on the other end, the other side, on the other half, it all came down to, I guess, the captain Gapson himself closing it out, jumping off from the apartments on B and then killing two people and closing on the round. That is what it took in order for Budapest 5 to close this out.
It's funny how individual performances come often in situations. Maybe this is why we noticed them, because he himself, Gibson, did not have a huge game. I think he had 12 kills total. But that one play can hinge, the entire game can hinge on that. I do want to point out as well, we mentioned sort of Zero being a former international player, 17 kills for him. But Torzi, who came in, looked amazing in the group stage. Didn't look bad here, but didn't do anything notable either in some ways.
I mean, look, if you have a player like Torji, for example, on your team in your gamer zone, right, and he's not one of your main aspects, one of the main pillars of your gameplay. He's ringing,
to be fair.
Yeah, you are trying to set him up for success, right, as much as possible. Whereas if he's coming into a team like Salamander, where he doesn't necessarily have that kind of support, right? He's just a stand-in. He might not have those flashes for him. He might not have the same type of support out of his teammates. So maybe that was a bit difficult for him.
Yeah, it certainly is difficult to ring in a situation like this. Last minute, no practice. Jacob, you've been familiar with it in the past. You've stepped in for Astralis even at times.
Yeah, it's always hard. It depends on how you're being catered to, right? Because when I was stepping in for Astralis, I was not... I was not supposed to be a star for Astralis. I was just supposed to do my job, and thank God for that, fill out the role as good as possible, which I did with success. No, but it depends, right? Because there's different kind of stand-ins, right? If you have Simple standing in for you, of course you want to cater everything towards Simple performing, because if he's having a good game, there's a big chance you're going to win that game. So it very much depends on the situation. As you said, I think he did a fine job standing in for Gamerzone in this tournament, and in this game he was just being fine. One thing I did manage to take a note on was the fact that we talked about Gabeson, we talked about Zero, and we talked about Kree as being the three most prominent names, at least the names that we've seen internationally before, and those were the three bottom fraggers for the lineup in this game, or at least Krias, he had 19 frags, but per rating he was not up there. So
yeah, exactly.
It is interesting to see that there's also some skill, and some talent within the Hungarian scene that is being showcased here on stage, and I think that's a nice feeling for them too. Also, I do want to say, Matt,
all right, keep going.
I do want to ask, who did your hair today? Because something is completely off.
Listen, the makeup artist insisted in doing my hair today. I told her that I literally don't care what I look like anymore, and that there was going to be a headset on. It was going to be a futile attempt. Glad you like it, Jacob. We can take a selfie together after.
We should.
Yeah, it's kind of
we can post it on Instagram as well.
There's a movie, where this guy uses a particular hair gel. He's after this girl that everyone's at. Brett Favre, I think, is in it.
It's unfair for the viewers; they can't see you right now. But I'm just, saying to the viewers out there, as soon as we get back to you, then just take a look at your hair.
Yeah, all right. I'll try. I'll take a look. I'll try. They don't have any mirrors in our green room. Maybe we should get one.
Maybe.
Jowlin, you touched on someone backstage earlier on.
Did I?
He just mentioned 3 players, but this is not one of them, but did do fairly well. 17 kills, 14 deaths, least amount of deaths on the team. Cooler.
Cooler, yeah.
Keller with a K, Cooler.
Yeah, he has been part of the Salamander lineup for quite some time now. This is a team which has been playing together for about a year now. So I think that kind of consistency, that kind of teamwork is what kind of shined through in some of the rounds, which for example, in the second half, Budapest 5 couldn't really necessarily close out. And Cooler is like this in this core of this team. For the fifth player, that has been the rotating door for them. That's always been difficult for them to fill in. But yeah, this core, this team, has that experience which maybe Budapest 5, in terms of teamwork, lack.
It could certainly be something to look at. There's no question about that. I mean, especially when you have a stand-in in there, that teamwork can break down. Just that one player, if it's someone who throws an important smoke or flash, can throw the whole timing of the play out.
It could. I think the one thing they have going for them, Budapest 5, is the fact that you have so much experience in the lineup, right? We talked about it before. Zero, a guy that, despite still being young, he's played on a relatively high level.
Yes.
You've got Krias as well. He hasn't been at the highest level, but he has a little bit more experience, on playing on a stage and stuff like that. So it is important to have experience, especially if it's your first time on a stage, which I do not know if that's the fact for the other team, but I think they're both doing well. Salamander, they showcased that they can play Counter-Strike. They made it competitive, so I'm looking forward to see another competitive game.
Well, with that, we're going to jump into it. You cannot lose this series at this point. It is only 2 maps, so at least Budapest 5 have that. You're right. Salamander can redeem themselves. Maybe we'll get a 1-1 map decision. To do that, we got to jump in with the casters. It's Jason Kaplan and Tom. Biz.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, it is Tom, and he's going to bring you the biz as we get underway with our second map.
Jesus.
Luckily, no one in the audience heard that because my mic wasn't turned to the crowd.
You're very
Just
lucky.
you heard it, and that's all that matters to me, Tom. But yes, this is going to be a good one, actually. I'm curious to see how the double up setup for Salamander will come out. I'm curious to see if Kolar is going to play just as well as he did before. Zero, he has not really been shut down. I think he's lost once in an opening duel out of his 8 total. Salamander have to put up a good defense here, and luckily for them, they're starting on the CT side, so they're going to be on the favorable position here to get a good streak going.
You love getting that stat wrong, don't you? It was Kolar with the opening duels.
Even
you asked me before we went, and I went, yeah, it was Kolar, and you went, yep, 0 again.
So if anyone in the audience wants to cast with me in English, feel free to come up here when we replace Tom, because
oh, good.
as long as you have one more hair than him, which isn't hard, then I'll take you in.
No, there's a few. They're just well hidden.
I like how you spiked your hair this morning. But this is going to be an interesting game, I still feel like. I mean, obviously there's no prize money at stake for the teams, but I feel like there's pride, and I think pride can be worth a lot more than money at some points. Obviously, depending on how much money's on the line. No? Okay.
No, I'll take the money.
But there's a lot of pride. You're playing in front of your home crowd. You're playing for the pride of being like the #1 team here in Hungary. I mean, obviously, we had Salamander win last time, 2-0 in the sweep, even though both maps did go into overtime. They want revenge.
I can get behind. Revenge is definitely better than money.
That is true. I mean, maybe there's a chance that if Salamander loses, they might actually make a website after 7 hours of work.
I don't know why anyone would do that.
I don't know why anyone would either.
That would be really a silly thing to do.
It would be. But here we go, kicking things off. It's our second map. It's the pistol round. It's Salamander Gaming in Budapest 5.
Going into things. Already we see actually a Molotov board up. I wonder if we're going to get the classic bounce off the door, if it is going to be a B-side take and maybe thrown in towards the connector. That's probably the better use for it. But on that B-side already, just look at this from Budapest 5. There are 3 players, from Salamander. There's 3 players ready and waiting. Nate going to go down. Normally you push the smoke, but you can't really push that, and the CZ is going to get them not 1, but 2 kills. Going for the knife, a little bit ambitious, but couldn't reload fast enough. Kreezy's meant to be the flanker. The bomb has gone down, but his teammate's already dead. It's just whether or not enough time can even be bought for him to try and rotate back around already onto the defusal, and the kill is coming as well. A very nice pistol round once again for Salamander.
Good strong start from them like we saw in the first round on Mirage when on the T side. But can they chain this to more than 3 rounds off the get-go? That's going to be the real question, especially if they're able to get the ops set up for Salamander Gaming. Torzy, we've already seen the position he likes to hold on CT side of Train, up towards E-Box. I wonder if they're going to allow him to do that yet again here. It's a very rough position. It depends, I guess, mostly up Budapest 5 are going to put a lot of aggression in towards that ladder room. But Flash, great hold out of him. I wanted to see the knife. I respect the play.
Well, yeah, there was no way he was going to be able to reload that CZ. That's one of the biggest weaknesses of that pistol, is the reload is so ridiculously long. But either way, we are going to see, because of the bomb plant, a purchase in from the T side. They've got an AK, or a couple of AKs, and 1 SG, which is normally the weapon we're seeing at the moment and not expected from Torzy. His AUG has actually hit the deck. That's one of the only prominent rifles we actually saw purchased up by Salamander. You wanted them to try and string extra rounds together. They're looking like they might just stop at 1.
Well, that's going to be 0 already off to a strong start. Color as well, 1-0 in opening duels now. Bomb going to be planted here on top of this, but a scout and I mean, the 2 SMGs and the scout is not going to fare too well on the retake, but Bodito somehow is able to take down Gabison. I think he hit him with the scout shot and followed up by the pistol, and Flash comes in from behind, takes down Fleeve, and just like that, it's more likely. However, Zero responds, he gets 1. Color as well, it's down to Aaron by himself. And Budapest 5 will, in fact, stop any sort of chaining of rounds for Salamander and tie things up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, great kills coming in from Kohler in that round, especially, like doing the work with the SG. Said it's the prominent weapon that teams are actually forcing up now, especially on a map like Train, and you've just seen the reason why, like, just absolutely obliterated Torzi. Kreese, he only had a pistol in this round. Like, that's the thing, the 2 players that dropped fairly easily didn't have any armor. They were the ones that sort of sacrificed their weaponry to allow their teammates to have a decent purchase. Kohler once again is going to be looking for this opening pick. You asked whether or not he can continue the form, and well, he has got his 4th kill already. Pistol's just doing work. Coolio manages to get himself 2. Kreese will be able to at least trade things back and keep it in the favor of the T's. However, not for long. That Deagle doing so much damage, and it's left all on to Fleeve to try and clutch.
Luckily, he has an AK, so there's a chance. Coolio low on HP, as well as Torzi now. And time is definitely on his side. Problem is, he has to deal with the scout, and we know how good Torzi can be on the snipers. But the question is, will he actually continue to go this direction, Tom? I mean, the A site, as we can tell, is going to be defended. The B site wide open. His fairness chances here. He has so many angles to cover. He has at least a smoke and a Molotov to use. Torzi's not going to catch him on the cross. The bomb going to get planted. He's actually going to push the smoke here into both of them, and they almost line up, and Fleeve out of nowhere after getting the bomb down gets the 2 kills, and more importantly, gets the round.
Yeah, the big problem there is you want to double up when you're in this sort of situation, just because you want to try and go for the trade frag, but it doesn't work too well when your combined HP is just over 20, so yeah, not the best scenario, and although it's a very close round in the end, it's still the T's that come out on top, and that's a bit of a problem for the CTs because they now can't afford to go for some sort of force buy. It would be nice, but it wouldn't even really be worth it. Bodito as well has saved money up to make sure he can get an AWP in the next round, and they want to make sure that they are getting into their purchase rounds. The difference here, can they do any damage? In an aggressive start, Aaron had a chance, but Zero will allow him nothing.
Yeah, not really going to allow anything. Kohler's just going to back off and try to survive. And that's one thing Budapest 5 did so well on Mirage on the CT side. Yeah, they lost the first 3 rounds, but then they chained together 8 rounds straight and were able to build up such a strong economy. So many of the rounds were so clean, losing 1-2 players max. And Flash, oh, I want to see it. I wish he'd be able to do it. Oh, there we go, bomb planted. If he had armor, like head armor, I think that'd be worth saving, but just a P250. Maybe trying to hope for an exit frag, pick up the AK, and then use it in the next round.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't really know why anyone would guard that ladder. Like, unless you do have a death wish. Because the chances are he's just going to be sat waiting at the top. 1 kill is not worth it, especially when you've seen what they've actually purchased into this round. Maybe it would be the ultimate confidence play.
I mean, maybe throw Kolar in there since he has the Mac 10.
Oh, yeah, but even still, it's like he only has 9 HP. He'd be better in a situation if he had a little bit more, but in all honesty, probably not worth it. And I think they are. Actually, did he survive? He might have actually died to the bomb.
Oh, did he?
He doesn't have any armor, so I'm going to assume he did.
No, he has a P250, so Flash is... No,
I mean Kolo.
Oh.
I think Kolo died to the bomb.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So maybe they should have just thrown him up there.
But he was upgraded to the AWP anyways, so...
Yeah, even still, and 1,000 lost, so he won't be able to buy a lot of the nades he might be wanting, or head armor, so it cost him a little bit. It's not a massive deal, of course, but still would have been better if he could have survived. And yeah, like he doesn't have a Molotov and doesn't have head armor, so...
So this is what I'm curious about. With Torzi on Gamer Zone, he's allowed to play E-Box with an AWP. Torzi on Salamander, is he going to be allowed to do the same? And again, Color. That should be 3-0 now for him in opening duels. And the unfortunate part is it's Torzy is the one he takes down. It's going to hurt Salamander quite a bit, and Bodito. Only 2 kills. He was the standout fragger for them in the last map. Not able to quite connect, and it just seems like Salamander are just winning these opening fights every time. They're just getting these picks without any return frags, and it's giving them such a heavy man advantage that Salamander just can't fight back. They're not really doing any damage. They haven't done a single point of damage this round.
Yeah, no, it has been tough, and I think a lot of that does come down to Kolor. Like, he was fantastic on the first map. He's been fantastic so far in this second, just making sure that it's a lot easier for his teammates just to even gain space. Like, a pick in one place forces the CT side to try and cover it, and then there's somebody else somewhere else that is able to find a pick elsewhere. So really playing a crucial role. The T side, they do have some spare money here, not masses of amounts, but a weapon lost for the CT side would be quite painful, considering the loss bonus is finally starting to build back up. And we'll see whether or not they're actually going to drop some weapons over here. They could drop a couple of Famases or some SMGs, or they just invest into a couple of pistols and then make sure they can buy properly in the next round.
And what kind of worries me here, Tom, is the fact that Salamander on the CT side of Mirage, a lot of the rounds that they won were just based off aggression. They were pushing as the CT side. I don't know if it's going to fare too well on a map like Train for them to do something like that, especially when they're running 3 AUGs. They want to sit back. They want to use the range and the scope to their advantage. I'm also curious if Torzy will be allowed to hold any aggressive angles like we have seen over the last couple of days. Look how aggressive Salamander are being. 4 players on the outside bomb site, 1 to defend inner, very similar to what we saw on Mirage. Poor Flash. Gonna have a lot to do here. The smoke comes in, so no chance to Molotov this off, no chance to slow them down. He's actually sitting right up close and personal, and if he, oh, this is gonna be so hard. They're gonna push straight past him. He actually gets the spray down to 1, 2. Can he get the third as 1? He gets the bomb down, and it works out for him. The aggressive, cocky play nets him the 3 kills, gives him a chance in this round, unless somehow Budapest 5 can hit these shots. But it doesn't seem to matter. Salamander will take the round.
Yeah, great play coming out, and I think that's one that could bring some life into the Salamander side, because they have been struggling so far. Just get that one hero play, which boosts their economy and allows them to come in with a pretty decent buy in this round. The AWP is thrown back over to Torzy. Of course, the way that the rounds have gone, how clean that Budapest 5 have been able to keep it, there's no trouble for them at all with their purchase back into this round. But even still, we'll see. Are they going to go back to just the old ways of the T side, or are they going to start getting a little bit stuck in the mud?
Well, Torzy again go back to challenging the position he was at earlier. If Kohler, if he somehow wins this battle again, I'm going to really worry for Salamander, because mostly just based off the fact of how pivotal the op is on a map like Train. So many of these long angles to hold. I know I keep saying it, but it's true. Torzy can be such an explosive opper. And Aaron trying to push up gets flashed out. Fleeve takes him down. This is a really risky peek. They actually go around the corner, takes down Zero. Coolio comes in as well and takes down Fleeve. So it works out in their favor. Salamander get a massive man advantage.
Yeah, big play coming out from the CT side to take back that control, and Gabeson's going to be removed as well. It's left on to Kohler, and he's not able to connect onto the shot. Salamander win themselves a 2nd round in a row, and now the T side not in the best position financially. They've got 3 players who could actually buy here, so maybe we'll see an AKL2 picked up, but definitely not the ideal situation. And in fact, they are just going to take the hit, make sure that they can get the AWP into the next round. But yeah, no, I like that. A little bit more aggressive. I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed that they have sort of just slotted Torzy into the role of Ivy. I think that's a few rounds now we've seen him playing that position with the AWP.
Changing one person's play style versus changing 4.
I think he's someone you have to set up, though. I think he can be like a star performer if he's given the role. I think you don't want to be trying to slot him into your roster. You want to try and go, okay, let's play a little bit more free. Let's give him the opportunities to try and take those fights. Because I don't think he looks as comfortable. Like, sure, he got that aggressive peek back in, but like the way he was holding it initially, like the setup just didn't seem right.
I was also curious on how they felt so confident just to walk around the corner. There was no flashbang to set up a push towards Ivy like that to allow for the 2-person peek. I think they get a little bit lucky that they're able to hit those shots and that Well, the lucky part of it was Budapest 5 missing the shots. And Flash gonna have the support out of Bodito. Actually, both ops gonna be towards the outside position. Flashman comes in. Flash gonna unfortunately fluff his shots in the beginning. The bomb's made its way in towards the site, and that should be a plant coming down. A lot of extra money for Budapest 5. Is there a chance they can hold this off? Zero coming in from behind. He has the AUG. He's keeping their attention towards him. Now the problem is they know he's there, and they kill the last player on site. And that's going to be a defuse coming through, and I think Zero's just going to save this AUG into the next round.
Yeah, all in all, not a bad situation for him, getting an extra weapon. I think he's going to be dropping over an AWP anyway, so it'll make sure that pretty much they can have whatever they want into the next round. So it's still a decent round for them. They make some extra money. But this is where things could get a little bit tougher, because they've got to try and break this double orb setup. Granted, we haven't really seen much from the secondary one so far. Like, I think Aaron is currently still on 0 kills. But even still, they are starting to build into this map, and this can be a setup which is very, very difficult to break down.
Eyes are on this man, Kolor. Potentially able to put his foot down one more time against Torzy. They've actually given up a lot of control towards ladder room here. You can see Kree's already able to make his way down. There we go. Flashbang gonna come through. Shot's gonna be connected. I think Kree's has to be the man to watch because he's given so much freedom. 4 players, 3 on the bomb. Such a heavy investment on the CT side to prevent Budapest 5 from getting this early control. But I think an important part of this is, though, Tom, is that they've been able to stop Ivy from being such a massive nuisance to them. They're winning the trades now. I think they're about equal 1-1 so far in how that's gone down. But they're putting more emphasis on it. More smokes going down, more utility used to not allow Budapest 5 to use as an angle to attack. Zero, he might get overrun here. The problem is Ivy's been left open.
This is just the biggest problem for them. Like, closing out rounds just seems to be a problem for Salamander. They get those opening picks. They start things off so well. And then the Budapest 5 just seem to fight back from any scenario. The question is, can Kolor close this? Is he going to expect him to be from behind? He's not, but somehow Aaron just doesn't connect the shots. Going to try and retreat back and get that bomb. The real problem is the time, though. Getting down to the 10-second marker. Aaron knows this well. He's going to try and get close. I think Kolor may have even spotted him. He could shoot the feet just below. He's on to just a couple of HP, and Aaron will just about close it out. A little bit too close for comfort. You had to feel that Kolor would eventually just ping a shot his way. But luckily for Salamander, he's able to close it.
Well, 9 rounds in, and Aaron gets on the board with 2 kills, and very crucial kills there, saving the round for Salamander Gaming. They maintain their double-up setup. Budapest 5 trying to look for the next avenue of attack. Again, Ivy was left open once they made the push towards the middle and out of Pop Dog. And you saw how many kills they netted from that. Zero picking up 2. There you go, able to close that out and get one step closer to defending this. 5-4 in their favor. Bit of a switch up coming in. Advantageous spawn for Kolor. He's going to look for the pick, and he will actually somehow turn in time and take down Aaron. It's going to leave Sai a little vulnerable. However, we can see the CTs have been able to rotate back around. Oh my gosh.
He really is just kicking it on this T side, and that's not an easy thing to do. The T side of Train is a tough side of the map to play, and I'm sure the Budapest 5 are very happy that their AWP just seems to be doing the majority of the heavy lifting.
But it's not even like they're assisting him to do it. It's not like they're flashing him in to get a pick. He just is hitting these shots.
The CT side are now gambling. They've risked it all on A. I think there's more of a likelihood of them defending it. If Kree's goes down, they have a chance, but he just worms his way through the defense. In fact, he cleans all 3! A fantastic spray transition from Kree's. No wonder there's a smile on his face there.
How does he get away with that?
That's how we high-five as well.
We don't like to touch, Tom. Let's not lie about it. Oh my god. Please no. That transition, that spray. Well done by Kree's. And that ties things up at 5 apiece, more importantly. CT's going to be back on basically a save with some pistols. And I'm getting a little bit worried. 6 rounds, T side of train. And the aggressive play, that's a kill. But what worries me is the fact that they have this many rounds on T side already, or about to. And then Kolar, I mean, he can show that he's been aggressive with his op and he can hit his shots, but even his defensive play with the op, just being a little bit more passive, letting them come to him, he's been just as deadly, if not more. And swapping onto that CT side is going to alleviate, it's going to help assist him hitting those shots.
Yeah, it does worry me with the amount of rounds they managed to get on the T side, because their CT side of Mirage was pretty decent. I think they have all the pieces to have a strong CT side of this map as well. I'm hoping we'll see Zero as like the B side player. I think he was actually one of the better sort of role players we saw within Hellraiser. It's like, it was sort of mentioned on the desk. He was never really the star, but he could still put up pretty decent, consistent numbers and played some of the sort of dirtier roles that players didn't want to play. So I think he is an invaluable part of this team, and well, then you've got the likes of Kreese, who's just been pulling off fantastic things in the first map. Fleeb was very good as well, but your AWPer is just finding picks left, right, and center.
And speaking of AWPers, we had Aaron and Torzy doing the double op setup. Instead of giving the op back to Torzy, they've actually donated over to Bodito. So trying to change things up, maybe allow Torzy to play a little bit closer to the cusp, as Fleeb's going to be the first one to lose his head in this round. Nice little crossfire setup with Coolio. Kolar again hitting his shots. He has the bomb in hand. You can never count him out. Oh my gosh, he should not be hitting this many shots, and Coolio will finally shut him down. It comes down to Kreese. We saw a 3K out of him earlier. Can he do it again with a minute to go?
Yeah, completely different scenario. His opponents were trying to hide last time. Now they're trying to eliminate him as they have the advantage, and Aaron is not going to allow for any sort of heroics this time. A good bounce back, a decent amount of players surviving. But even still, the T's will have a purchase into this round. It may not be ideal, and it's definitely putting some pressure on their economy. There's still a chance for a 9-6 CT half, which, although it's not ideal, it's definitely workable. Nonetheless, we'll be watching to see whether or not the T's can create a streak from this. If there's 9 rounds on the T side, then I feel like this may be all she wrote. Aggressive play from Bodito. Doesn't manage to net too much. Maybe just strike some fear into the hearts of the Budapest 5. Once again, Gabeson has had a bit of a quiet game, but the thing is, it was the high impact play that he pulled in that actually helped them secure that map in much more dominant fashion in the previous. Still going to try and force their way out of this A side. There's 2 players dedicated onto B with no real presence there as of yet. However, the utility usage from the CT side is at least going to slow some of the players down. Fleeb, however, has just gone running out. He nets her first. The second not going to be there as the CT side start trading back, and Aaron has timed things well with his flank. He now has the bomb in Pop Dog, one of the worst positions for it to possibly be dropped. Torzy also hitting a nice shot, and it's left onto this man once again with the AWP. He shouldn't have a chance this time, but he still manages to get the kill, and I think he died.
I'd agree, considering the round's over.
I genuinely think the way that it switched players, the production also thought Kolar had died there, because that shot 100%. Was so ridiculous.
That was it was an amazing shot. He's been hitting some fantastic shots throughout the entirety of today. Fortunately for them, they're going to be basically on a force up here. Some pistols and a little bit of armor here or there. Torzy back on the op. That's 6 rounds. I mean, 6 rounds is already good. Anything past that's going to be amazing, and that's where I'm going to get worried for Salamander. Nice nade comes through out of Coolio. Nice little position out of flash. That's some 3 quick kills. But Fleeb is taking on Torzy, so they've rescued an op. Not sure how much they can do with this, though, in a 2-1-4 when the bomb is already down, or if they'll even expect Bodito. Maybe he is. Both players walking, not looking the right way. Oh, my God. Was that a heart attack there, Tom? I didn't see the barrel. I know, Gabeson against 4. It should be an almost unwinnable position.
It is. It is an unwinnable position. Like, if they manage to throw this away, they might as well just exit the stage early, because this is a CZ with 4 players to kill. Like, the fact there, you even have to just worry about bullet consumption as that gun shreds through them. 8-6, the CT side starting to stabilize after what was an early lead created by the Budapest 5. They've had a couple of rounds won off the back of individual prowess, but the CT side seemingly starting to rise to the occasion. Now we get the full buy back in for the Budapest 5. An 8-7 is nothing to shake a stick at. We'll see if they're going to be able to do it. Once again, they're running right into this site. Fleeve is so good at just finding these angles, getting those openers, and Aaron desperately wants to try and return, but there isn't one to be had, and well, it's not getting any better for Torzi as he looks to cook. However, Flash does at least find one. How has Aaron got into this corner? They don't expect him. He knows there's one above him, but Flash is there to help him out. And it leaves it on to Kolar once again. 1v3.
Oh, they have the bomb in their hands for the CT side. They know the direction he's coming as well, considering the amount of players looking over here. One thing Kolar does have, though, is time. Problem is, he's got a lot of players to find here in that time. Looks around the corner, and Flash is going to close it out. 17 kills for Flash, actually. He was very quiet on Mirage, but you can see him really starting to step up. And a 9-6 scoreline is not bad at all, as you mentioned. Nothing to shake a stick at, though I don't know why you're shaking a stick. I'm going to be swapping sides.
I don't make the sayings, I just say them.
It's not a very threatening thing to shake at someone, to be honest.
Yeah, I can think of a few other things.
Your bald head. So, Kolar, 14-12, finishing off the first half. But you're right, Fleeve. He's been able to hit so many of these great shots to open things up with. And he's been able to punish the aggressive defense out of Salamander, which we saw again in Mirage, doing it again on Train. Hopefully their aggression will work out more on the T side for them here. This is definitely going to be the unfavorable side, and a pistol round would be perfect to start things off with.
Yeah, I think they're going to need it. You don't want to allow that orb to get into the hands of Kolar earlier than it might. It's going to be the route back towards this B site. Already, though, the CT side come out on top, at least for the moment. Flash also tagged within inches of his life, and eventually Fleeve's there to put him down. However, the trades come back thick and fast. That has been the way this game goes. No team able to just dominate, it seems to be. Can they do anything in this 2v2? And just look at the bomb. It's backing around.
CTs are actually getting aggressive here, maybe trying to catch him off guard. Oof, Aaron keeps the composure. We'll expect more, though, is the question. Oh, he's going to spot them out, and unfortunately, Fleeve's going to have to go for the reload. And he has 12 bullets left, so he's going to have to be very mindful of this if he does pull off this first kill. But Aaron is just buying time, and I like this. It's getting the bomb down. Fleeve instead just going to peace out. Oh my God, wait.
No,
It's a little bit scary.
They put it in a position where they can see it. This is a smart bomb plant coming out from the T side. Even still, though, they are tagged reasonably low. A nice shot. It's left all onto Aaron, 14 HP. The problem is the time. It's ticking down. Fleeve needs this kill within the next 3 seconds, and even then, I don't think he's going to have it. He's done a lot of damage in this round, but Aaron has just played the time. He's wasted his time, and he's going to waste his opponent as well. 10-6. An important pistol round for Salamander. And again, it's sort of one you feel was maybe thrown away from Budapest 5.
I liked how Aaron was rattlesnaking at the end. Switching between burst and single fire because he was around the corner. He knew the time was over. Just trying to bait him in a little bit further and trying to get in the mind of his opponent. I can respect that. But we saw Salamander Gaming take the pistol round on CT side, but then they lost the next round immediately. They need to be able to chain these rounds together and build up a pretty competent lead here, considering how Train is going to be an uphill battle, even with a 10-6 scoreline from this T side.
Yeah, the difference with the CT side is it seems to be a fair bit tougher to win a lot of these rounds. There's one of those things with the bomb going down can get you extra money, and there's potential to get those SGs into your hand. Whereas this is going to be more reliant on the deagles, on the pistols, and thus far it's not going very well at all. Already 2 kills coming in, and They are going to need some sort of hero play once again, but it does look like they're going to be doubling back around towards this A side. Nice shot at least for Kreese, but it doesn't do as much damage as he'd like. Kolar still there with that scout, but he needs to start pinging headshots if there's going to be any hope. He does get a second kill, and actually Gabeson pushes him for one more. They've created some costs, some damage for Salamander, but ultimately it doesn't really matter, as they're still going to have the problem of this next round.
But only an AK and a MAC-10 was saved from that round for Salamander. So again, a heavy investment for them to buy back up. But obviously going to have such a massive advantage in this round. Torzy at 10 and 11. I like how we've been seeing Flash, step up in this map. I thought he was like really quiet, and not necessarily his fault. He was left alone by himself at the B site on Mirage on CT side, and obviously 1v5, you're not really going to get that many kills over the course of a map when they do head towards your direction. There's aggressive play pushing straight out. Zero's able to get one with the P250. Looking for more, but Coolio brings out the MAC-10. Again, a chance to do some damage. Win the round, probably not. But keep that economy in check would be a good start here for Budapest 5.
Yeah. Chances are, I was going to say Kreese wasn't going to be able to do anything, but I like the angle he's taken. It's a headshot angle. Like, it basically gives him the highest chance of actually winning in one of those duels, just because he's going to get shredded if he's shot in the chest. If they can't see a chest, they have to headshot you.
It makes sense, Tom.
Makes
sense indeed. Well, this is where things are going to get interesting, though. Well, not even this round, actually. I want to see what happens when Budapest 5 get the op setup. I want to see if they're going to go for the double op setup, actually, once they're able to have the money to support it. They do have one of them. I feel like Kolar's going to provide such extra control in towards middle with him there. And look at this, Aaron pushing straight through the smoke. Kreese gets a second. I think that had to have been through the smoke. Just like that, we have a man advantage for Budapest 5.
Oh, another one going their way. Torzy unable to take down Gabeson, and Flash through the smoke does damage. But he isn't going to be able to remove his opponent. They need to pick back in. They need to gain some space, and all the CT players are here ready and waiting for them. It was an A stack in the end, and Budapest 5, they've got themselves a 7th onto the board.
Still a long battle for them, being 5 rounds behind. But again, the damage they did before, look at the economy of Salamander. They got like 3.7, a couple of players. No one really above 3.7K mark except Bodito, I believe. And Budapest 5 only lost out on 2 players. So again, keeping the money coming in for their team. It's a risky peek there. So it looks like they will be saving anyway. Just a couple of pistols bought up. Bodito does connect for some decent damage, but Cooley will round that out. Oh my gosh, Cooley gets a second. Can I get a third? Can he make it more expensive? And look at this. In the meantime, Flash gets the bomb down. There's a lot of extra money on their side. They can probably afford up the op now easily. And there actually is a chance to win this. If Flash can get this kill somehow, he buys time for the rotations to come through.
Yeah, trying to clear out. Coolio almost catches out Flea, but it isn't going to be the case. And even still, a relatively successful round, killing off 2 players, bomb plant, making extra money that they didn't necessarily need. Okay, Flash is a little bit lower than the rest of the team on cash, so that probably is going to help him out to at least get an 8K, but Bodito has $9,500 going forward. So if they are going to be able to grind out these T rounds, they're going to have the money to back it.
Well, the pressure's starting to mount for them. Very hard to get rounds on this T side, but they are 4 away from taking this map and putting it to 1-1 in this series, in this show match for you. Oh, back in the hands of Kolar. I wonder if anyone's actually going to challenge him, because we saw Torzy and Kolar going head-to-head towards Ivy. But that's not necessarily the direction that Kolar wants to hold. He's actually taking more of a Torzy position, getting aggressive with the op in middle. He's been given that freedom that we were talking about, that maybe Salamander should have done for Torzy on the CT side.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I think on the T side it's a little bit easier because it doesn't affect any of your setups. Like basically you can just continue to play the way you wanted or call around this person a little bit more. But I think he is going to play an integral part in this map. It's going to be Coolio actually looking to try and get that opening pick. Gabeson waiting around the corner. He has that SG ready and waiting. The flashbang not going to do anything, and he's already got his first of the round. The AWP looking to come around the corner, but Zero there to support, to stop anywhere else. Nice shot from Torzi, though. Gets them away back in. The problem is they've lost a bomb.
Torzi's going to be alone against 4 with the op. They know the direction he's going to be in. They definitely know now as he peeks around. And Budapest 5 will save the round. Not going for the double op, by the way. They had Torzi's op down. They didn't bother to pick it up, so it looks like maybe they're just going to stick to the single op setup for the team. And unfortunately, all that money Bodito had is pretty much just gone now after this round. It's now into our 22nd round, just the pistols for Salamander. Maybe a quick play is in the stars for them, but unfortunately, well, not unfortunately,
Okay.
Aaron gets a double kill. The nade sack works out. How did Salamander just get such a massive lead here? Now setting up their smoke, setting up their flashes. They're going to push out.
Oh my God.
Gabeson just
He almost gets 2.
just doing Gabeson things.
Oh, Fleet, this is a perfect angle. A little bit lucky with the fall off and the headshot. They may be about to turn this round back on its head. Just lurking around the edge of this smoke, trying to make sure they can't get any sort of bomb on. Flash hopes to hit the timing, but Gabeson just using his pistol, making sure that things are nice and clean, and they will, well, pretty much just save themselves. That double nade made things worrying, but they do rectify it.
That should change things up for Budapest 5, though. Initial start, they can't afford to stack like that anymore, especially if the nades keep coming that way. Budapest 5 are now within arm's grasp of Salamander. It's a 9-6 scoreline at the end of the first half. Now 12-10.
And more worryingly, they're on the favored side. Like their CT side looked good in the previous map, and I'm expecting more of the same. This time, you have Kolo sort of waiting for maybe more of an aggressive B push. They've doubled up on that side of the map. Of course, he's just going to be the rotational player around the connector. Already, though, it seems like the grenades are doing a lot of the damage. Budito and Aaron both taking a bit of a chunk. And instead, T's still just trying to make a move. In fact, it's going to be Torsi. That is really aggressive, but he had the supportive nade to give him a little bit of space to peek. However, he gets nothing off the back of it.
I think Aaron here is going to be a critical player once that smoke does fade. Flashbang comes through and he wins out the trade against Gabeson. Zero in the meantime is able to take down Torzi, but he's only able to get 1, which is very uncharacteristic of the way he's been playing so far. Kreese. That's going to be easy pickings for him. Gets the first, gets the second as well. Escapes with his life. Now puts the pressure. 29 seconds left to go for Salamander. They need to get this bomb down. The problem is they can't even get close to the bomb site. They have 1 smoke, 1 incendiary. They need to hit some massive shots to open up a chance for this. And Coolio's done it. He's able to take down 2. Kreese able to spot down the bomb, drops him. 15 seconds left now, and Coolio's going to have to make another move.
Yeah, all Kreese really needs to do is play the time. He got to the other side, and he's going to try and run around it. The footsteps are heard. Now all he needs to do is survive, and he's won the round. But Coolio wrapping, he can't quite connect it. It's going to be Kreese again with a big play. He seems to step up when they need him, and that will be another round streak together. I'm starting to get a little bit of deja vu.
Coolio, got to give credit to him to hit those shots. Such important shots to hit considering they were in a 2-on-3. And on to some big players. Fleet, Kolar. Just unfortunate that flash kind of got caught out with the op. I guess you could say unfortunate with the timing out of Kreese. This is the even more dangerous part. Is the fact they've invested everything they have into this round. Only Torzi with more than 1,000 remaining. Fleet just going to be left alone to defend.
He has the nades to deny them. Be a little bit premature with the Molotov. I guess he expected them to rush instead. Just watch both CT players have fallen back. I think they've heard the deagle, and that's actually a bit of a misrepresentation of what the purchase is. There's still 3 rifles there, so they've gone passive because they think they have the advantage just in terms of weaponry. So let's take it at range. Now for the AWP, that's correct, but the 3 AKs could cause a little bit of a problem. They're yet to rotate anyone over, but rightly so. They've only spotted what was initially there. Salamander could have opted to rotate away, but they now look to set up, and Fleave's going to have the majority of the work to do.
If they take any longer, though, Kreese is going to see them. At least give the information that they're hitting the inner sight. Fleave, that's going to be a rough position to play from, but that's going to be Torres taking on Kolar. Fleave's only able to get 1, most importantly. Kulu getting caught trying to switch weapons. Just down to 3-on-2. Torres is going to hit some amazing shots, and just unfortunately, a pixel off. That's going to be Gabeson able to close out the round. He gets up 2 kills. And more importantly here, Tom ties things up at 12 apiece.
6 rounds in a row now for the CT side. This is the big worry about the map train. It is the hardest T side within the game at the moment, especially with that sort of more specialist weapons starting to come in. People really enjoying the double AWP setups at the moment. Interesting that we actually really haven't seen it from the CT side, but they have been using a lot of AUGs. The problem now is you do start to get bogged down. You start to run out of ideas. And in the meantime, the Budapest 5 start to really gain in confidence. We'll see more aggressive plays. We'll see more nice shots hit from them. So Salamander have to break back, and they have to do it soon.
Need to slither into this bomb site. You can see Torres went for just the op, no utility, but Aaron just pushes straight to the smoke. The aggression working out so far, however. Kolar's able to finally respawn, but not before Aaron takes out another player. I thought Kreese got the second there. Flash will finally shut him down, but it's still going to be a 2-on-2. Not a clean round for either team. And Fleave, I think he just saw the bomb cross back in towards middle. But look at Coolio. He's been damaged up, so they obviously know he's in this general direction.
Oh, this is going to be the crucial play. The thing is, though, Fleave, even if this battle is lost versus the AWP, Flash is going to run. This is a problem. No, Fleave just falls down. He's made the biggest mistake possibly of the round. I don't know if his opponent heard it. He did. That could have been it. He could have dropped the bomb, then he has control, and instead it's one of those situations where he's made a mistake that may have just cost him, but he gets the kill anyway. Can he rectify it? Not quite. Only a few HP left in the end, but that fall down the ladder probably just cost him the round.
Costing the lead as well, more importantly. It gets Salamander up to 13. But Aaron, he's 100% stepped up. I think he had 0 kills for a good portion of the first half.
It seems like he feels more comfortable on the T side. Like he's been making those sort of aggressive plays that are basically, either he gets a kill or he instantly dies. There's not really much of a 50-50 or anything like that. It's just those 2 options.
I do want to just correct myself. I meant Mirage first half. He was unfortunately able to get too many kills. But that's going to be a big kill coming in for Kolar, or actually not for Kolar, Kreese. We're actually seeing the double up setup finally come in at such an awkward moment when the money's not really there. So they're going for the risky play, trying to play from range. Fleave able to take down Torzi. Eventually going to be rushed down, but again, 3-on-3. And Zero coming in from behind, a crucial play to take this site back. The bomb can't easily be planted, but Bodito hits the shot onto Kreese.
This is a problem, though. There's not too many safe positions for the bomb to actually go down. They're actually going to have to choose the middle of the bomb train. Gabeson's still just stuck. Zero, I think he tried to take a shot there, but he's just given away his position.
But he did hit him, though, so that allows Gabeson to actually know there's going to be a player in the smoke, and Coolio's going to turn on, gets 1, doesn't get the second. Zero gets a 2K and ties things back up. Such close rounds here for both these 2 teams. But I like that shot, by the way, from Zero.
Oh, he tried to kill him. He just missed.
But he shot into the smoke. I don't know if he saw him actually in the smoke, but the sound allowed Gabeson to realize there's a player there, because Gabeson looked like he wanted to turn and go towards the oil train.
I don't think that was, I think maybe as a distraction, but I don't think he intentionally missed. I think he was trying to kill him. It did end up helping in the end, but I think that was more luck. away. Giving a little wave. It is going to be the scoreline equalized. Flash should now be able to gain control of Pop. The Ts do look like they're setting up once again for an A take. This has been where the majority of their rounds have been going. It does sort of create an all-out brawl, but this push from Kreese could be perfect. So much information being gathered that this position is clear. It's whether or not he's going to be able to work out where they have gone. Is he going to guess towards B, or will he go checking into A main? There's that little information peak. But even just surviving here, it's so much more valuable than anything else. He needs to just stay alive in this corner, stop them from taking him down. However, it won't happen. Towards he gets the pick. Now all that information that he gathered is gone, but he has managed to burn down the clock.
Not much utility left for Budapest 5 to stall any sort of push that can come through. Zero, the only one really with the smoke. But he's not even in a position to throw this down to delay them. But now the smoke's coming towards inner. Two-player push. The problem is, this is not actually the side they're going to, but is that Gabeson outside? Gabeson picks up 2 kills, gets the bomb down, and this fake towards the inside does not work out. Gabeson gets a triple kill and might have just saved the round for Budapest 5.
It's happened once in the last map, and he's done it once again. Had a big step up in this second half and looking to try and close it out. In fact, he will through the smoke. A quad kill from Gabeson to give them their 14th, and that could be so critical. Just look at the economy for Salamander Gaming. They've got enough for a couple of AKs. In fact, they could have one on every single player, but they'd have to drop the head armor, which is definitely not what you want to have going in this sort of situation.
Such a crucial play here, too, with that triple kill. If he drops, they have Z connector control. They get on the bomb side. They have to fight out of the inner site back towards outer, and that should have been Salamander's win if that individual play did not happen. Nate's that coming through yet again. Oof, 0. Down to 8 HP off of that. It seems almost as if they're throwing a Hail Mary. Try to get an early kill, considering the weaponry they have is, well, it's there, but it's not good in any means.
Yeah, they're going to need Coolio and Flash to try and close down some of these players, maybe act as a little bit of a distraction, although Coolio has the bomb, so I think his goal is just going to be to try and get onto the site. Doesn't have the primary weaponry available to him. Here we go, though. Push coming through. The smokes are available. Badito will start things off. And remember, Zero's still desperately low on health. They're in a pretty decent scenario here, and he is going to get that bomb plant without any response.
Trying to spray through the smoke, not connecting. He actually may get flanked in from the side. Color's there to back him up, but to protect him. Gabeson able to take down Torres. He's able to give him the man advantage in the after-plant situation. Aaron, what a shot on Kolar. And Zero with 7 health since the start of the round. Up against 3 different targets in 3 different positions. With about 10 seconds left to go. And there we go, gets the first. He does not have a kit on him at the moment, though. The problem is he has no time either, and Bodito's gonna close it out. 14-14. Salamander doing a great job of keeping their claws in this game.
Yeah, the way they've done this, they've got to a point where they've finally broken the CT economy, and they've done it right at the end of the game. This is now their game to lose. Salamander in the driver's seat. And, well, the question is, do Budapest 5 actually go for a purchase into this round, or do they try and save? And even if they save, the finances aren't going to be great going into the next round. Maybe you get some bare bones rifles, or you go for some SMGs. They are just going to opt to take the hit. And this is just going to be a nice little field day round for Salamander side. Farming Simulator 2019. It's Fleeve left on his own. If he could steal a rifle, that would be as good as it gets, pretty much. I don't think there's much of a chance. He's basically hoping that someone pushes in here. That is a ridiculous shot. But other than that, he will go down, and it is going to be now 15-14. Overtime or bust.
Not the greatest of buys either for Budapest 5. Obviously a very big save in the last round. But Salamander, they're playing for the win here. They're playing to tie things at 1 apiece in this best, or not even best of two, this 2-map show match. Can't really have a best of 2. Doesn't work.
People have used the name before. Doesn't necessarily make too much sense.
Look at this play though, Tom. They're actually pushing straight out yet again. Flash leading the charge this time. Goes straight into the enemy team, but unfortunately Zero's going to drop him right off the bat. Aaron able to respond. He's going to be hurt, but it doesn't matter. Takes down Kreese, and just like that, Salamander one step closer to taking this map down to Zero and Fleeve. And Zero again, low on HP. Bomb not in position to plant necessarily, but Dito gets down Fleeve, and it's all on Zero. Can he be a hero? We're going to see. Gets the first.
And the other two players are low. He actually has an opportunity to do this. 19 HP, but up against not much more on the other side. A combined 33 health.
This is interesting. Dito.
The bomb's stuck as well. Like, they're worried that if he tries to cross, and it seems like Zero didn't know that, so instead he goes pushing back around, and he's wary of the angles. It's just whether he gets caught from behind. They've split up, and I think that could be their detriment. It's just whether or not Zero turns around. Both players have surpassed each other. They've not realized that the other is currently behind them, and this is going to create one of the most confusing situations ever, as it potentially could mean they think that this site is clear.
I think it's going to mean they're going to spend a lot more time trying to find out exactly where the last player is. They didn't see him on the cross. 25 seconds left. You're going to have to push with the bomb up here to get it down, and I think Zero's just going to play the smart game, wait for the bomb to go down before he does make his move. You can just see the tension in the way that Salamander are playing here, considering there's 10 seconds left to go. Bomb will get planted.
Bomb has been planted.
But with 33 HP between the last two remaining players, Zero only needs a couple of bullets to close this out. The biggest problem I see here, Tom, is he has no idea where they're going to be. He does not have a kit, and he's low HP.
Yeah, those are not the recipe you're looking for when it comes to a clutch. 20 seconds left for him to defuse this bomb, and Budito is waiting in the perfect position. They have done it. They've closed things out. It will be the tie in the end. Both teams taking their respective maps, and well, I suppose everybody is a winner, Jason.
Everyone is a winner. Participation trophies around for everyone, but well done by Salamander considering the amount of rounds they took on that T side. So much great individual play. Aaron, who really, I think, stepped up for me rushing out. Like they had the confidence in him to push through smokes in the outside site and pick up multiple kills in multiple rounds. They definitely fought hard for it. They definitely showed that they deserved it. And you have to wonder what would have happened maybe if they had their full 5 here. Maybe if BZT was feeling better. Obviously, we do hope you get better quickly in the hospital, but that was not bad. That was not bad at all. A lot of players started to step up, and a lot of players really started to pull their weight, where Mirage, I think, was a little bit of a different game.
Yeah, I think you have to give props to Torzi especially as well, though. Just for standing in.
Yeah, of course.
Like, for being slotted into a roster. Like, to draw this match when you don't have your full roster is fantastic, but for him to perform as well, I think is also props to him. A decent match overall, obviously both teams taking one map apiece. And well, I believe in a moment we are going to be getting an interview on the stage.
But this is just a taste of what we have coming up today. We still have our 2 quarterfinals. We have Virtus Pro versus Ninjas in Pajamas as our first match of the day. That's going to be one hell of a game because we're going to see where NIP are going to be currently, and of course Virtus Pro as well. But let's head down to the stage with Red Eye for a post-match interview.
Yes, thank you very much. I don't know what to say after that, because the first game went very well for you. So let's talk about the first map on Mirage. Why were you so good on Mirage?
That's our main map, basically. That's what we like. We are a pretty new team. Zero is also doing university, so we have limited time at this point, and we practice the most on Mirage. So I guess that's the point on that.
Okay, quite simple. What about second map?
Train is the map we play. This time we were really lost. We didn't really play it for some time already. So I guess they were the better team on Train.
Okay, good to hear. In terms of looking forward, obviously Season 2 has been announced. We don't know when it's going to start, but it's going to be soon. You guys are obviously looking forward to that. Bit of revenge?
Yeah, obviously we want revenge. We want to prove that we are the best Hungarian team. So, yeah.
How important is it to have a national competition like the Hungarian Premier League that allows you to play in a team on a regular basis, play in a league, and then perhaps go on to bigger and better things afterwards?
Sorry.
How important is it to you to have a national league like that?
It's actually really nice. Like, we didn't used to have these kind of things in a few years. esports in Hungary as well started to develop a lot, so it's really nice. And to play on a stage like this in front of such a crowd, this is why we play, I think.
Makes you want to do it again?
Sorry?
Makes you want to do it again?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well done to both teams, Salamander and Budapest 5. Let's head back to my desk and find out what they thought of that one.
Thank you so much, Paul. Yes, Coolio, the winner. It's track number 2 on the Space Jam soundtrack, and in it says, be a leader. But if you can't be a leader, make sure your leader is a damn good teacher. Well, today he was a leader, and he is the winner.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that map, I got flashbacks from the V4 qualifiers in Hungary, because it's the same issue there, right? Salamander was playing Gamer Zone, and same problem, didn't manage to really close it out that well. Here they did, but there it went to overtime, lost, I think, 19-17. And I was very impressed by their CT side here. They had good holds, showed good fundamental Counter-Strike. It looked like a bit more organized approach than compared to what we saw previous map. But in the end, it all comes down to that set moments towards the end of the round. Creeds, for example, having the spray down the A side, the clutch. All of that is what the difference maker in this.
Do you agree, Jacob?
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a close game. I called it out in the beginning to be a competitive game, and I think we got to see that again. I think both teams played, up to their abilities. We saw Queer's winner, as you said, a few clutches. We saw him having a few moments, where you think to yourself, this is why he was considered a talent back in the days. If I got to be a little bit critical of something, sure. I think Zero, didn't really impress me that much. I maybe would have expected a little bit more coming out of him. It's not that he had a bad game by any means. It's just that he is a player that I rate highly, right? I expect more from him.
We know him, right? So therefore, we are going to put him under the microscope in this context. Sure. That's inevitable, and I can understand that. There's a bit of obligation, you could say, with his pedigree in the past. But gentlemen, I think it's actually not a bad thing that this ended 1-1, and it's considered a draw, because it's a show match, and it's a good way to sort of encapsulate the competitiveness of Hungarian Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I think the important discussion to have is what the future holds for both of these teams. On Budapest 5, obviously, you have Zero, bit of a question mark, right? Is he back permanently? Is he not? Does he still have to finish his studies? And then even Color, I believe, when they formed this lineup, he said, this is the last chance I'm giving Hungarian Counter-Strike.
Wow.
Yeah. And on Salamander, of course, you had the high of winning that Hungarian championship, and now the low of failing to qualify for V4. So that is a hurdle they need to come over. They need to push through that. So it's all a bit, I guess, a lot of question marks moving forward.
It's all a big part of a learning experience, right? The fact that they're able to sit here on stage, get some experience, that's always going to help them in the future. So I think it's a nice thing. It's cool that the V4 is putting them up for the test as well. Despite not qualifying for the main tournament, they still get to be on the stage. They still get to gain some experience, and they did well. They made it competitive. They made it fun to watch, and you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's interesting that he would say he abandoned Hungarian Counter-Strike after this, the second V4 in Budapest. And obviously things are on the rise. A third team that's not on the stage right now was, of course, Gamerzone, who did well in the group stages. So maybe it's on the up. I like that Paul asked the question, is it important for these national tournaments? I think it absolutely is. With that, it was exciting, it was fun, but we reset. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we get back to the main event. The V4 Future Esports Festival continues with our quarterfinals. We'll see you then.